So today's topic is data science, but specifically in health equity research, okay? And we're going to learn more about what health equity means specifically later on. So before we jump into what specifically data science is, can anybody tell me what data is? What are data, should I say? What are data? Because it's a plural.
Information.
Yeah, information, right? So data are pieces of information that tell us about people, places, and lots of different things, right? So who remembers statistics from last Wonderkids from last semester? You guys remember statistics? There's a clue on the screen. Do you guys remember the M&M's activity that we did?
Yeah.
What did we do in that activity, Dakai?
We made a graph.
We did. We made a graph, right? So we collected data from our bags of M&Ms. So everybody had bags of M&Ms and we looked at the number of M&Ms and we realized that everybody had a different number, but it was between different numbers. So I think it was around 20 M&Ms, 20 to 30 M&Ms that people had in their two bags. And then we also looked at the different colors of M&Ms, right? And we used the different colors that everybody had to make different graphs. So we made a bar graph, like in Dakai's picture, we made a pie chart to help us identify what the most common color was and the least common color was, right? So that's an example of collecting data and then using it to make visual representations, so pictures of our data. So that was data that we collected, right? Data on M&Ms. Miss Andrea, what are some types of data that we can collect?
All right, guys. So there's going to be three main types of data or data, whichever way you say it. So the three main types are going to be numbers, words, and pictures. So data can be made out of numbers, like how many people live in the city, or it could be made out of words, like the answers people give on a survey about their health, like I'm feeling really sick or I'm feeling great. And then the very last one is pictures. So pictures are like what we did last week, right? Where we looked at a map and we looked at where a hospital can be located within the map. So a map is a picture too. So data can also be pictures. So there's also a lot of people that collect different types of data. Do you guys know anybody that would collect data?
Sophia already hinted at one earlier when she was talking about weather. Valerie?
Principals.
Yeah, principals. What kinds of data might principals want to collect?
Attendance.
Attendance, right? What other people in schools might want to collect data as well as principals? Sophia. Sorry, and you're next.
Grades.
Grades, right? Your teachers collect grades, right? They want to know how well you guys are doing, right? So they give you tests and they collect information about grades and they might use that information to see how well you're doing throughout classes and also figure out who might need more help. And what other people might collect data?
Maybe like doctors would collect data to see how your health is going.
Right, exactly. Every time you guys go to a doctor and you are like, hey, I'm not feeling too well, and your doctor says you have the flu, right? They're recording that data in something called an electronic health record, right? And so then the next time you come in, they can be like, oh, I see the last time you came in, you had the flu, right? How are you feeling now? That's data that's being collected and can be used to help you. What is data science specifically, Miss Andrea?
So data science, it's a super exciting field. So let me give the answer just because we're a little low on time. But don't worry, you guys will have a lot of opportunities to talk for this lesson. So it's an exciting field. We use information, data, and the reason why you want to use these things is to understand and make decisions, right? So data can go from many different places. Like we talked about, it can come from weather, it can come from stores, or you can even use it to figure out what animals live in what areas, right? So think about how much information is collected every day, right? When you're driving, you see the speeding camera takes pictures of cars, that collects data. When you're watching YouTube videos, YouTubers use data too to work on their careers, right? So data scientists look at all this information, and what they want to do is figure out the patterns, answer the questions, or solve the problems. So we're going to move on to the next slide about how data science helps in health equity research. And who's going to be better in explaining that than Miss Kelsie, the expert herself in the field?
So first of all, I have a question for Wonderkids. Do you guys know what health equity means? Anybody take a guess? Health equity.
Well, I feel like equity kind of has the first three letters are like the same as equal. And I feel like it means like equal health, equal, I don't know.
Equal health. That is exactly what it means, right? Health equity research is all about having equal health, right? And what might that mean? Right? That means many different things, right? It might mean making sure that everybody has the same access to healthcare, right? Or making sure that certain communities or certain types of people that tend to get certain diseases or certain health issues more often get the help that they need, whether that be access again, or whether that be just education, right? So for example, there's certain communities that might deal with issues like obesity more often, or deal with issues like diabetes or cancer, for example, right? And part of health equity research is figuring out how can we level the playing field, right? So Sophia's exactly right. Equity means equal, it means the same, right? And so equity is all about making sure that everybody has the same opportunities, right? Same opportunities to be healthy. Can you guys think of examples where that might not be the case, where people might not have equal health? Can you guys think of any examples? Go ahead, Giovanna.
When somebody's sick and you're not sick.
Yeah. When somebody's sick and you're not, right? Like that person needs more help than you, right? And so it's important that person gets the help that they need. Zoe.
When someone has a condition and someone doesn't have a condition?
Yeah, right. When someone has one and someone doesn't, right? And so there are certain communities, right, where we do research that if you're a poorer community where you have less resources, for example, it might be a little bit harder for you to get to a doctor, or at an early age, you might not have been able to take care of your health as well because you didn't have as much money. So I am particularly interested in helping out these communities because you find, for example, that Black and African American people tend to get some diseases at a higher rate than other groups, for example. So for example, when we look at cancer, so I do a lot of work on cancer, you find that Black and African American people tend to get cancer more than other groups. And they also tend to die more often than other groups. And so I'm very interested in figuring out, why does that happen? I'm not okay with that. I want to help, right? You're not okay with that either, Dekai, right? And so a lot of my work as a health equity researcher is trying to figure out what are some of the reasons that this happens. And then once I come up with some of the reasons, okay, what can I do to help these communities? Is it empowering them with education? Is it making sure that they have access to resources? Is it making sure that they're insured, for example? This is all of what I do as a health equity researcher, right? And today, in today's, I guess we have my graphic. In today's demonstration, I'm going to be showing you one of the tools I use as a researcher to help me do my job, okay? So, first I have a question for you guys. Have you guys ever heard of this before? It's a really big word. It's Geographic Information System. Geographic Information System. That's a big one, right? Should we try and figure out what it means together? Should we do that? So first I'm going to ask you, Wonderkids, what does geographic mean? Geographic. Another way to say it might be geography. Is that how Americans say it? Geography? Yeah.
Yeah.
What's geography, Jade?
Like a map.
Like a map, exactly. So geography is all about, relates to the location. It's all about the earth and different places, different areas, right? So for example, just like Jade says, when we look at a map, we're talking about geography, right? When we look at a map, we're talking about geography. We might talk about where cities, rivers, or mountains are, or different places, for example, right? So geography relates to locations. It relates to different places on the earth. Great job, guys. Great job, Jade. What about information? What does information mean? What do you think, Luca? Information. What do you think when you hear information?
I think it means like information means like you're studying something, and information means like something you get out of what you're studying.
Yeah, something you get, right? It's giving you, it's telling you something about whatever it is you're looking at, right? So information means data or details about something that tells you, right, more about whatever it is you're studying, right? So information could be facts about how many people live in a city or where hospitals are located. Okay, and then what does the word system mean? Anybody knows what system is? Go ahead, Luca.
System is like something a way works.
Something the way it works, right? So we have lots of different types of systems, but yeah, it's all about the way it works, right? So then means data or detail. Sorry, I just realized that didn't get updated. But system means the way something works, right? A system is something that works together to achieve something, right? So think of systems like your body's organs, for example, all working together to keep you healthy, right? And so in GIS, we use this technology and tools to organize data about places, right? So geographic information systems is an area of research that is a technology that's used to organize data about places, okay? So geographic is about places, information is data or details, and systems are things that work together to achieve something, right? So geographic information systems are systems software that help us make sense of geographic of location data.